Hey there, comic book fans. Back with yesterday's comics. Pretty big week at the comic shop for me. 10 comics. 8 were on my pull list, which is a pretty big week already. Then I even pulled 2 off the shelf. I guess I wanted to get more comics. But first, we'll start with the top of the printer comics. We've got Swamp Thing. What number is this? Hold on, I have my glasses over here. Swamp Thing, number 45, and The Escapists, number... Do we have a number on this? There must be a number on there. It's inspired by the adventures of Cavalier and Clay. It was a mini-series from Dark Horse a few years ago. I barely remember it. I think that's a Paul Pope cover. I can't remember who did the inside of it. And I can't figure out why there's no number on the front either. I don't remember. I think it was a mini. Because I had more issues of it there. But this is what was this? A Total Bin and Bissett or Stan Woke and Alfredo Alcala drew this, but I don't know if they did that. I should have looked up who did the cover. I didn't. I just assumed it was Total Bin or Bissett, but I don't know. And that sure looks like Paul Pope, so. Those were the 2 that were on the top of my printer all week, and I looked at the covers of. Always fun to do that. Get some of the old comics out of my collection so I can see them. Then let's see, what do we have here? What's the Furthest Place from Here? Number 16. This series has kind of picked up for me again. It lulled for a little. First of all, there were 2. I think there was 1 or 2 issues that weren't drawn by Rosenberg. I don't know which one of them is the artist, because it says Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg storytelling. Whichever one of them is the artist, I can't remember which. There's a couple issues, fill-in issues that just weren't the same to me, and then it kind of lost a little focus. But it's been good these last couple of issues. I'm really enjoying it. That's why I'm never quick to drop something off my pull list once it gets on there, because especially if it's the same people, because like most of my books are indie books, so the same people do them all the time, and there's ebbs and flows sometimes. So it's like I'm not just because I don't think a couple of issues are as good as a couple of issues before. I'm not going to drop. I'm not looking for reasons to drop my comics, so that's why I stick with them because they get better again. I enjoy them more again. Then we've got Swan Songs, issue number 5. This is a story that's about a comic that's an anthology. Each issue is done by a different artist. Who do we got here? Alice Exman Long, and they're all written by W. Maxwell Prince, who's the Ice Cream Man writer. And it's called Swan Songs because each story in the issue is about endings. I think one was about the ending of a marriage. Sometimes they're about death. Sometimes, whatever the ending is, that's the Swan Song. I think it's only going 6 issues, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see. Why give us just a boring black back cover? I don't know. It's indie comics. Then we've got Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows, The Ribbon Queen. This is 5 of 6. I know this is going 6 because it says so somewhere. Yeah. Pardon me, 5 of 8. Says so down there. This one's been fun. It's a police procedural mixed with a horror story. Oh, it looks like we're flashing back. And it's got sort of a supernatural horror thing going on. Whoever this Ribbon Queen is, who's some sort of spirit or something, we really don't know yet. She inhabits other people's bodies somehow and gets revenge for them. I think she, from the flashback here, she must have died a long time ago and still wants revenge all these years later, mostly against men who do women wrong. And she turns them into ribbon, bloody ribbon. The whole body just starts to disintegrate into ribbons. It's pretty creepy. But that one's been good. Then we've got Local Man, one of comicbook.com's best comics of 2023 so far. Local Man, it's always a flip book cover. See, now that's the good use of cover. You get 2 covers. Because there's always a backup story. That's this is a hero who was disgraced and moves back to his parents' house in his old home. I think he's in his 20s or something, maybe even early 30s. in his old hometown where he's disgraced and he's treated like he's disgraced. And they usually have a little backup story about his time on the super team. And then we get the story of what's going on with him now. Nice artwork. Who's doing this one? It's created and written by Tony Flex and Tim Seeley. Farmington art by Tony. It's Fleecs. I don't know if that's Flex or Fleece. Not sure. Third gen art by Tim Seeley. So, Tony Fleece or Flex is the one who, I guess, draws the main story. And Tim Seeley, who's also the co-writer with him, draws the backup story. I've read Tim Seeley's stuff before. I didn't really know he was an artist. And this is just, and he's not allowed for copyright reasons to actually be a superhero anymore. So sometimes he puts on a ski mask, there he is there, and helps people out. But his superhero name and his superhero image are owned by the corporate super team that he was once on. Like I said, nice artwork. I've been enjoying this one. Then we've got an issue 2. Tony S. Daniel, Edenwood. This is one the first issue surprised me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I've never really. Tony S. Daniel, he's been doing work for DC Comics for years. He was a Batman artist. Never really, but he didn't write. But I never really bought his stuff. And then he did, what was it, Nocterra he was drawing? That, I forget who was writing that. But now he's doing his own writing. And the first issue was good. I enjoyed it. Fantasy story about Edenwood is sort of this mythical fantasy land that's taking over Earth. It's like this wood that grows, the woods that there's some demon queen or something in, and as she wins battles, her realm on Earth grows. And I think she's taken over most of the world except for some parts of the United States. And our cast of people in the first issue wandered, got caught up in the woods, and now they're fighting some demon war or something. But the first issue I liked. We'll see how the second issue is. Then we've got Grimm, issue 15. This one's been the story of the Afterlife, a bunch of Grim Reapers hanging out, being Grim Reapers. And then bad things happen in the afterlife, and they get caught up in all this politics. But meanwhile, I think, last we knew, here are 2 of our Grim Reapers. She's the main character. And he is one of the sidekicks who's a Grim Reaper who's was an 80s rocker who died and is now a Grim Reaper. And they both went to hell. The last story, they just went to hell for some reason. I can't remember the reason, something to do with and her, she found out the revelation was her father is death or something like that. Well, I guess is the head of the Grim Reapers. I don't know. And now she has to take over in his stead, but she doesn't want to, and this and that and this and that. But it's been a fun book. Nice artwork. Who does it? Stephanie Phillips is writing it. Flaviano is illustrating it. There's the credits for you. What do we have? Oh, it's a Cerebus in Hell. Spore Batvark. 380. He's letting Todd McFarland know he's got 380 issues of Spawn. 380 issues of Cerebus. Pardon me. It's Todd McFarland who has Spawn. This is, let's see, copy 698 of 1326. So the print run's only 1326 on this. Nice cover. Well, like I said, this is up and oh look, and it's mostly Dave Sim can't draw anymore, so it's these cut and paste comic strips. Oh, look, these ones are full. Usually they go across. These ones are full page. We'll see. It's hit or miss. Matter of fact, I'd say his batting average of good is really only around 333. I'd say one issue is really good, one issue is middle of the road, and one issue is unreadable. But I'm reading Cerebus in Hell, so you don't have to. I'll let you know how they are. And here's one that was on my pull list that I don't know why I put it on my Basic Instinct. I don't know if it has anything to do with the movie. I don't know if it has anything to do with anything. It's Sumerian in partnership with Massive. When I got the final order cut-off email, I must have liked this for some reason when I read the description and decided to put an issue on my pull list. I have no memory of why. Doesn't look like it has anything to do with the movie. I wonder what it has to do with. Who's even the creators of it? Vanessa Del Rey, Sam Freeman, and Kayla Valerio. I don't think I know those names. I have no clue why I put this on my pull list. I'll read it and find out. And then here's one I pulled off the shelf. Maria Lovett's Crave. I haven't really bought a full Maria Lovett series. This one looks like it was done for the U.S. market. A lot of her stuff, I think, was done for the European market, and it's very small on the page. That's one of the reasons I haven't picked up like a full series of hers. I always look at it and go, I'd rather see the European graphic album of it, so it somehow disappoints me that it's not. But this one actually looks like it's got U.S. proportions, but I like the cover on it. We'll see if I like the insides or not. I think this is 6 issues, it says. Maria's, did it say some? Crave 1 of 6, it says in the indicia. Sometimes it says in the indicia, sometimes it says nowhere. And here's one I picked up off the shelf too, the last one of the week, Barbaric. And it's a one-shot, Wrong Kind of Righteous. And I've seen Barbaric before. I've never read any of it. But I've always kind of, it's double size, how much was it? $7. So 2 extra comics cost me $11 this week. I liked the artwork in it. I'm not 100% sure what it's about besides a barbarian. But it's always kind of caught my eye, but I never really picked. And also because, what's the name of it? I do the production for Bad Idea Comics, and they had a comic, They're All Terrible. Pretty good comic, too. I enjoyed that one, which originally was called Barbaric until this Barbaric was out. And they're like, oh, we got to change the name to that, which happens with comics a lot. There's a lot of comics out there with a lot of names. So that might be why Barbaric stuck in my mind, too. Because, like I said, originally that was named that from a Bad Idea comic, and they changed it. So we're going to give Barbaric a read. Let me show you a little bit of my artwork. What do we got here? Dreams of Things 214. And I think this is the first time I did something like this, where I have grayscale next to color. You know, it's sort of I don't know what to call it, a thing, a trick, a technique, or whatever that's been around forever. You know, I'm not the first one to think of this. But I actually did it this time. I don't quite know, you know, she looks old-fashioned now next to that colorful guy. I don't think I've ever done, I hardly ever use gray marker. As a matter of fact, I don't have, because you can get 30 different gray markers. Actually, it'd be 27 because the 10th one is black and the gray. You can get 10 percentages. You can get like 30% gray, 40% gray, but 100% gray is black. So I guess that. But there's all those 10 percentages of cool gray, warm gray, and neutral gray. And you'll see some like marker artists use gray all the time. They like drawing in grayscale. But I never have that much, so I have maybe 6 gray markers. I never bought like a full set of 1 to 10 of grays. But here's the 6 gray markers I have. Right there in that one. Alrighty. There you go. Some comic books, some artwork, and you guys have a good week out there.